So the why I wrote this song is a multitude of reasons. Firstly, because someone said something about someone in the band I was in, and that stuck, and that was the starting point of the song. And I went home and wrote the opening lines. I'm all for a point of view. Just be careful with the words you choose. You've run your mouth, you've spoke your mind. Apologies ain't far behind. Now, I don't normally write words out flat. I tend to find words and chords and melodies together. But for some reason, that popped in my head driving along. And I thought I better write that down because that might come in handy one day. And it turned out it did. So that's where the first lines come from. And it's about something the woman said about someone in the band. And then I had the riff, which you've seen on the acoustic video. I'll put some chords up in the stories, the proper chords, not the cat-handed stuff I'm going to go through. Had the riff, and I always thought, what would the riff go into? And then I found the verse chords, which I'll go through, and then those lines, I just pulled them out my head, and they seemed to go with it very, very well. So the first chord is like an E minor shape, just these two, that's right, E minor shape. Second chord is like the top of a C add 9. The third chord is this, but these two, but down. It's AS, US 4 or something like that. And then the fourth chord is this chord, up 2 frets, sorry. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Should add, sorry, I'm on capo 4 here. That would help, wouldn't it? Capo 4. So, I'm all for a point of view. Just be careful with the words you choose. You run your mouth and spoke your mind. Apologies and far behind. And it's the same chords to the next bit, but you just sort of don't play them all the way through. So careful, darling. Careful, darling. Careful with that tongue now, darling. So careful, darling. Careful, darling. Careful with that tongue now, darling. So that's the verses. Now the bridge is just 2 chords. So the first chord it's like a bar chord. I'm terrible with names, sorry. So this finger is on these 5 strings. You leave the top one open. This finger goes on the bottom 4. And it's this chord. And then you just change into, put that finger down, change into like a typical sort of bar chord shape. Just you be a little wary. Just you be a little wary. So it's just 2 chords there for that bit. So it's those bit, and then the chorus bit is very simple. So you take this shape from the bridge and you slide it down to the first fret. That's the first chord. So that's an easy one to get to. So I'll go through it. Everyone is not like you. So it's that shape. Every. Then it's a minor shape. 1. C shape. Is. And you take these 2 and you put them up. Not like you. And when you get there, you take this little finger and you put it cheekily under there. Everyone is not like you. That's what does that bit, and also does the outro bit, the outro one. Yeah. So that's the verse, the bridge, and the chorus. The list that you see of the 3 people in the Sticks and Stones video, if you've seen it, these names, I'll show them to you. Yeah, these are real fucking idiots I hate. The first one is a guy that I met when I first had my band around my town of Aylesbury, and the guy was a shark, just preying on little bands. And he ran this competition where you would send in the song, and he was uploading these songs to websites and getting people to buy the songs without telling any of the bands. I don't even think he told the promoters, and that was his battle of the band to see who would get to play at this festival. This was a while ago, this was years ago, but I was young enough and not stupid, not naive enough to realise he was taking what I call the fucking piss. So I had words of him. He threatened legal action. I was like, well, go ahead then. that all died down, and we were asked to not attend the competition, which I quite happily told him to go and fuck himself. And it turned out a lot of other bands got in touch with us who had the same issue, or they were paying for plays or something like that, but they didn't want to do it. So there was a lot of shady shit going on. He subsequently was no longer involved with that stuff. Surprise, surprise. Second one, that's a her. There was a girl I used to knock around with, and I used to like her. But then she's one of these girls that think she can, I don't know, manipulate you and twist you. She talks in rumours and contradictions, but she's not as smart or as pretty as she thinks she is. And when she said something once about someone I love, I was like, well, you're fucking done. So I quite happily never talk to her the rest of my life. And then the bottom one, he was a guy in a band locally who, when I started out playing guitar acoustically before I got a band, was the most arrogant, egotistical, too cool for school person I've ever met. I wouldn't mind if he knew how to write a good song, but they were all shit, and everyone in his band had trouble with him. So, right, I had to pull the lyrics out for verse 3 and 4 out of my mind. I forgot them there because I was whittling on. So it goes a little something like this. If I'm attacked, I will defend. There's no line between enemy and friend. You've made the remark and take it back. And fuck you out and roll like that. So, if I'm attacked, I will defend. There's no line between enemy and friend. Yeah, there's grey area. I'll try with people, but if someone don't want to be my friend or like me, I ain't worried about it after a point. You know, I'll try. God knows I've tried with some friends of friends, but it's exhausting when there's cliques or people are too cool for school or there's references you don't get. It's exhausting. It really is. Perhaps that's why I'm a bit of a hermit on my own where I live half the time. But yeah, especially doing this project as well. Like some stories I'll see, people have watched it. I watched every story and they won't give one meaningless like to any bit of content, whether you like it or not. You think you would get a little like of like, well, he's put in the work here, clearly. It might not be my cup of tea, but I can see he spent the time. But no, because they're too fucking cool, aren't they? Right, so the outro is just 3 chords. So it's like the F minor shape, the A minor shape, and then the G chord. So it's, tonight I need to let you know I'm gonna let out the beast, prevent his hero. Right, okay. Right, I whittled on there I whittled on there a bit, but hey ho, this is what this video is. So the second chorus just has a thing that's a little bit different before it goes into the outro. So, everyone is not like you, like you, like you, like you. Now this finger's coming up, but it's not actually going off. I'm always playing it with this finger down or that finger down. It's just something about the rhythm. My fingers come on and off. So you're never playing it open like that. That one is just on the top. These are just coming off in rhythm. Like you, like you. And then it goes to the outro. And the outro is just 3 chords. We have the F minor shape, the A minor shape, and G. And then it's 3 chords, but you play the last one twice. So you go. So you just lift this finger up. Tonight I need to let you know. Yep, and you just do that for 4 times. Tonight I need to let you know I'm gonna let out the beast, revenge hero. And if all you have those sticks and stones, well then you've already lost before you begun.